Hey, good afternoon, Wyoming and America. This is Amazon Jude coming to you from Wyoming, Wyoming, Casper, Wyoming to be exact. I've been in the political arena as far as keeping an eye on things for quite some time right now. I do have some messages to send out to our Republican Party. You guys are going to screw this up in the worst of ways if you guys can't get together and build something to go before the Senate and get passed. I think you and Rand Paul and Paul Ryan should put your personalities in check. Uh, Most of you Republicans wanted the House, you wanted the Senate, the Oval Office. We gave it to you. Stop screwing it up. You know, step by step, inch by inch. The turtle and the hare. Okay, the turtle wins the race because he's got his shit together. You boys need to do it too. Second on that list, you know, I'm all for like this Freedom Caucus, and in Wyoming we have one couple of them that are, you know, like freedom fighters and that kind of stuff. But you know what? We're all one party here. We either love America or we don't. And after 80 years of putting up with Democratic bullshit, having our country overrun by illegals, losing our jobs, being so restricted that we may as well live in a box, you know, about the size of one we're going to die in, because that's where we're going to end up if we continue to let and I know this is going to be a tinfoil hat thing, George Soros, the New World Order, and I'm over it. So here's my message to America today. Are you willing to allow your rights to be taken little by little, your property being restricted, your health care being controlled by the government? I think that is wrong in itself. It did great for 200 years. If anything needs to be restricted, it's the insurance companies, it's the medical facilities, and it's the big pharmaceutical companies. Democrats don't want that, and many Republicans don't want that because they're big, huge donors. I think we've all figured that one out. Secondly, I'm sick of these steering outreach committees, non-governmental organizations of unelected officials deciding our laws, putting forth legislation, and that's got to go. I would, you know, if I could, as a citizen of the United States, I wouldn't let one lobbying group in Washington. These guys were elected to go there to fight for their little areas around the country. That's why there's 460 of them. So if 460 people can't fight for their little areas of the country and find something in common to push forward, then that's just, you know, that's just ridiculous. We're sending the wrong people. The third, this just absolutely astounds me to begin with. Nobody, not the media, not the government, can put forth any real numbers on anything, whether it be visas, victims of violent crime, victims of illegal aliens, refugee numbers, Medicaid numbers, Medicare numbers, uninsured numbers. The numbers are so skewed, they'll go from, you know, I think the lowest one I heard was 9.9 to 26 million. That's a big gap. And that is just normal routine. I mean, you got one side saying the numbers are this, one side saying the numbers are that, and then you got 10 little groups in between coming up with their own numbers. Does anybody really know any of this? I think our government has been so rogue for so long that nobody is doing their job. They just sit around in their little cubicles all day long, pushing numbers and pencils around, and there's nobody above them taking those numbers checking those numbers, and then pushing them up to the upper tier. Our government is so out of control. And thank you, President Trump. You're bringing all of this to the forefront. Never again will we settle for people like Rand Paul, Paul Ryan, John McCain, Mitt Romney, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders. No more idiots. We're done with it. You either know your shit, you're not going to sit in the president's chair. That thing you can be very proud of, Mr. Trump, President Trump. And another one, the Treasury. This is a big one for me. His name is Jack Lew, and he's been Obama's little right-hand man forever in the Treasury Department. The Treasury Department doesn't require any FISA. The Treasury Department doesn't require anything except for saying that they're investigating a criminal thing like bank fraud, wire fraud, and I think that's why they were after Trump's tax return so bad, is that would be their impeachment policy, that he was committing wire fraud or bank fraud. Well, that's blowing up in their face pretty damn quick as it is, because even in Rachel Maddow, who eats cookies better than the Cookie Monster does, let that blow up in her face last night on live television. It was awesome. I watched about 10 seconds of it. In fact, I don't even think I watched that because I thought, you know what? I don't know what it is. Is it a woman? Is it a man? Is it a he, she? She was wrong. It was wrong all through the primaries, all through the election. Why watch idiots? So I don't even spend my time with idiots. And same with CNN. You know, it's crap news network as far as I'm concerned. And today I watched one of the idiots try to protect media like Bush does, like all the Obama does. You know what? Fuck Main Street media. I wouldn't listen to you guys and believe a fucking word if you packed it up my ass with a hammer. I know better. I can look around. I can find the realities of anything. And you know what? Documents are just as easily for us to find as it is for you. That's what the Freedom of Information Act is about. So, anytime you come up with some bullshit, we ought to start fact checking you. I know I do, and that's why I get to run my mouth today like I am. I do believe the Treasury Department was probably involved in the wiretapping of Trump Towers. I don't give a shit what you bozos are saying up front. You couldn't look in the camera. You can't look in a person's eye. You're lying. And I didn't see a one of you look into the camera, even trying to be sincere. I don't know what they have on you fuckers, and I really don't care. But I don't care what the Main Street media says about my president. I know he's right. How else would they have known that Flynn was talking to anyone in Trump Tower? How did they get a transcript of it? How did they know that Trump had talked to Australia or another foreign country and be able to quote it word by word? You've got former senators coming out and saying, you know what, my office was wiretapped in Congress. That's illegal. You know, what the fuck is going on with you guys? Are you so desperate to retain your power that you're willing to break all of the laws of the United States, break all of the normalcies of how things are supposed to roll, just to put yourself back into the government? You know, I think we've all learned by now that Democrats don't want to let loose of their power. They've had too much corruption, too much money, too much holding the American people hostage. You know, they show up every 4 years in your local communities, whether it's inner cities or rural areas, and they promise you the world and they don't deliver. That's not what we're getting. President Trump has continued to deliver on his promises. In fact, I don't know if you remember hearing Kellyanne say it one day, and then there was a couple other ones that said it too. He keeps a list by his desk, and on that list is all the promises that he had made to the American people. We need to do our best to get him there and to let him do this. let me run back to something. Okay, last point on this so-called 17 agencies that would have had access to intelligence briefings. They got theirs on, what, 2 weeks before Obama had left office. And I really don't think they really gave two shits about it myself, because you're talking about Navy and Coast Guard reserves and all of those guys. I don't really see them giving two hoots about any of it. But here's the biggie, and this is the part that blows my mind every time I think about it, every time I go back through this, is those 4 agencies were in front of the Judicial Committee, and they admitted pretty much that it was between them, those 4 of the 17, and they didn't say they had absolute proof of anything. It was their judgment. It was their what was the word? Highly confidential. Yeah, highly confidential. But yet, there was not one piece of paper, not one document, not one tape, not one video that was submitted to the Judiciary Committee that day for Russian hacking. This is all assumption. They have no proof. And you know the killer part of that day was for me? When they had to admit that they had nothing. They had no paperwork. They had no document. They had no internet tracking. They had nothing. This was all on their based opinion. And who were these guys? Well, they were all Obama appointees to begin with. Secondly, Brenner, Obama's CIA boy, old shit, couldn't even say for a fact that Russia had done anything with the Trump campaign. There was no paper trail. And then if we want to go back a little further, I can remember James Comey testifying in front of the Judicial Committee saying that his department never touched Hillary Clinton's computers. That they had sent them out, or they were out for some outside company that was never named, that did all the, research on these computers and sent back what they thought. Forensics. Remember that? The word forensics? This shit stinks to high hell. And I would advise most of you guys to go out there and, this stuff is almost internet crazy anymore, where you can find just about anything you're looking for. You just got to be disconcerting about it and double and triple check it. I also want to make one more statement on this, and that is, remember, Obama gave away our internet October 1st, 2016. And that's why a lot of us are being kept off the internet or kicked off the internet. I think I get kicked off of Twitter every day because I post something that, the left side doesn't like. Even though it's true, if it wasn't true, my lawyer would be busier in a one-man ass-kicking contest. But be disconcerting, guys. This is going to get tough because they're not going to give up their power. They wanted this new world order, and if we had to have a new world order, the first ones I would put in front of the new world order court would be this last administration going back to 1992. Every one of them would be hung by the fucking neck till dead for their crimes against humanity. Syria, Libya, gun running, drug running. Yeah, that's what United States has done. We have become the war country of the world, and the drug smugglers. I mean, you can go back 20 years to 1992 for Clinton's down in Arkansas and find where they were making money off of gun running and drugs. But hey, I don't care about the past. I care about now. And right now, we need to take our country back in all its glory and send these corrupt, corrupt, corrupt people to the curb. And this is Amazon Jude. Peace out from Wyoming.